Hey, have you guys heard of that new Zelda game? Nintendo has finally decided to give Zelda the starring role, and it looks like a lot of fun. If Nintendo can finally make Zelda playable, then logically I can turn Link into a ball, right? Right? Well, either way I did it, so it doesn't matter now. Okay, so let's take this cube Link here and apply a subdivision surface modifier and bam, it's a ball. Why did I think this would work? Like, yes, of course it's a circle, but for some reason I thought this was all I would need to do, and the art would just work without editing. After reworking the entire design, here is Ball Link. He doesn't look great, but no one has ever said that a curse is supposed to be fun. Next I added Link's sword and shield. The sword is separately controlled from your movement, and the shield is always opposite the sword position. I thought it would be fun to attack by physically having to swing the sword back and forth. Kinda like this. It's not. Attacking up and left isn't too bad, but it is not comfortable to attack up and right for too long. So instead, Link can now attack with a button press. This is a completely original idea. Moving on, and I do literally mean moving, because the game is built on a grid, it was a rather easy process to scroll the camera correctly to each new room. But exploring an empty map can only be interesting for so long, so I worked on designing the first enemy, the Octorok. He can walk around and shoot rocks, but that doesn't really sound all that impressive, does it? Well, what if I told you that this same behavior is used by all of these enemies? Don't believe me? Just like that, I'm half done with all of the planned enemies. Here's another two enemies. They both wander anywhere and ignore the walls. You know what's funny? In order to make them stop moving, they actually perform an invisible attack. This way, I didn't need to code a movement delay because it uses the exact same attack code as everything else. That's a little game dev secret for you. Finally, I finished up every enemy. Somewhere in that mess on screen are the levers. I forgot to show them. Whoops, but they burrow underground. With everything complete, it's time to start spawning the enemies correctly in the world. This part definitely had some challenges. When you enter a room in the normal game, enemies spawn like poof, poof, poof.
You mean with a delay?
Yeah, that. When you leave and come back, they do it again. This means you can't just kill an enemy in Unity and expect it to come back again without reloading the scene.
I figured it out! A bolt of brilliance!
Yeah, so it turns out you can create a smaller version of the map where black represents the walls and any colored dot represents a specific enemy. When you enter a room, the corresponding enemies spawn based on this preview in the right. And this runs every time you enter a room. Perfect. Well, what about NPCs? I made the door transitions functional, and let's see what he has to say. What the heck are you doing in my house? Oh, sorry about that, I didn't realize. Also subscribe, we're so close to 1 million subs. That's true. You should subscribe so that we can hit 1 million subscribers. Thank you. I guess that finishes up just about everything in the overworld, which means it's time for this. Boom! It's dungeon time, baby. I know that basically all of this is the exact same, except now it's blue, but it still looks super cool either way. So the next thing to work on is the locked doors. I decided that the key would spawn before the enemies were defeated. I swear this was a design choice and not that I didn't feel like coding it. Finally, I worked on the razor trap enemies, and I changed their behavior a little bit. Oh geez, I forgot I left that in. Don't show that part. Blur it out or something. Alright, so I'm done. I made the entire game in only 17 days, and I wonder why I feel a little bit burnt out. You can play it yourself over at itch.io. I recreated a decent portion of the overworld, all of Dungeon 1, and I hid 6 heart containers around the map. I hope you have fun. So that's all I got for today. Enjoy the gameplay, and I'll catch you guys next time. Adios.